Hello, all future Drumline members and current ones that will be here for next year's Drumline. This is for the intermediate excerpt that I wrote out for auditions. So, in these videos, I'm going to go over some of the details of each excerpt, so that if you have any questions, hopefully this better helps you, with certain measures, certain rhythms, etc., etc. All right, so I'm going to be referring to my phone right here. I have the music up right here on my phone, so when I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. So, all right, so a couple things that we really need to take note of. Okay, I put a lot of sticking in this excerpt because it's important. I'm going to be putting a heavy emphasis on that, especially if you were to make the bass line. If you're a bass drum player, we're going to really attack sticking this year, okay? So that, one, we're not only sounding good, but we're actually looking uniform and looking good, okay? So the sticking is very important, so make sure that you take note of that, all right? Dynamics, okay? I put at the beginning, there's forte, yeah, so loud, yeah. The last line, there's a crescendo going back to forte, but at measure 7, that's when we drop down to piano on beat 2, okay? Beat 2 is where you drop down to piano, and then, like I said, you go to the last line, it's measure 10. You have a crescendo from piano to forte. So those 16th notes, really make sure that you're, getting that range of dynamics, and then, flourishing into measure 11, okay? All right, a couple of rhythms that we're going to go over, okay? So at measure 1, beat 3, okay? Beats 3 and 4. That's a syncopated rhythm. You have 3 and, okay? Sticked, right, left, left. Because on beat 4, there's an 8th rest, okay? And if there were an 8th note, we would be sticking it with the right hand. So that's why the and to 4 is being sticked with the left hand, okay? So right hand stick lead, cool? So that's going to be played 3 and, cool? 3 and, cool? All right, measure 2. We have some paradiddles with accents on each beginning of the paradiddle, right? Yeah, paradiddle, paradiddle. You notice how the accents were up here, about 9 inches from the drum, so that we can actually see and also hear the accents. Cool? All right, measure 3 and 4, we have more syncopated rhythms. All right, so a dotted quarter note going into an 8th note, and then beat 4, quarter note, and then measure 4, you have the and of 1, and then beat 3 and the and of 4, okay? So with that, if this is your rhythm, or if this is your tempo here, then what you're going to be playing, obviously not sticked correctly because I'm just going to be using the right hand or the left hand here. So that will be what you're playing right there. Like I said, this was just the beat here. So check out the sticking in measure 3 and 4. You have right, left, right, left, right, left. So it's all alternated, right? So make sure that you're doing that. Again, if this is your beat, this is the rhythm. 1 and 4 and 3 and. Okay? So practice with the metronome, and honestly, play the audition with the metronome, okay? That will help greatly, and I actually encourage that, okay? Moving on to measure 5. Measure 5, we have the same rhythm that was at beat 3 and beat 4 of measure 1, right? 1 and 3 and. Right, left, left, right, left, left. Cool, because if beat 2 and beat 4 were actual notes, they would be with the right hand, so therefore the note after would be with the left. Again, right hand stick lead. Cool? Measure 6. Beats 3 and 4 again, that same rhythm, okay, that you see in beats 3 and 4 of measure 1, and then, of course, what you see in measure 5, the 3 and. And then this measure, we are introducing our first 16th notes to the excerpt, right? So 1E and a 2E and a 3 and. Right, left, left. Cool, sticking, very important. All right, now measure 7. This is where we go down to piano on beat 2. So beat 1 is still forte. So you're going to have forte, piano, okay? Cool, so make sure that there's a difference there. So you have 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Right, right, left, left, right. Again, right hand stick leading. That's why we are putting in that sticking right there, okay? All right, measure 8, still piano, still piano. We have the combination 16th notes and 8th note rhythms, okay? The first 2 beats, you're starting with the 16th notes. The second 2 beats, you're starting with the 8th note. So you have 1E and, 2E and, 3 and a, 4 and a. Cool? 1E and, 2E and, 3 and a, 4 and a. All right? Again, at the piano dynamic, look at the sticking, because we have right, left, right, and then beats 3 and 4, right, right, left, left. Because, again, and I'm going to come back to this for each sticking, the right hand stick lead. In beats 3 and 4 of measure 8, you have 3 and a, 4 and a. You took out the E, right? The 3E and a. That E is not there, but if it were, it would be with the left hand. That's why we have the right hand on the ands there, okay? Right, right, left, left. Moving on. What is it? Measure 9. A pretty simple measure, right? 1E and a 2 and 3 and a 4. Cool. I don't need to go over that. And the same thing goes for measure 10. The only thing in measure 10, like I said, you're crescendoing, right? So make sure that that crescendo is gradual, and that whenever you get to beat 1 of, what is it, measure 11, that's when you arrive, okay? That's your forte. One thing, the only thing that changes is the dynamic, right? You are not changing tempo. Do not get faster, okay, whenever you're getting louder with that crescendo. Keep it constant. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Do not slow down. Do not go faster. The only thing that's different is the dynamic change in the stick heights. As you go higher in dynamic, you're going to go higher in the stick heights, okay? All right, the last 2 measures. Probably the most difficult 2 measures in the whole excerpt here. So, we're in forte, again, sticking. Right, last 2 measures you have 1 and a 2 and 3E and 4 and. 1 and a 2 and 3E and 4 and. Check out the sticking because the whole measure there is all right hand stick lead again. Cool. Last measure, we introduce the flam, okay? Yeah, you guys all know how to play the flam. Make sure that you are, showing me which hand is the flam, okay? So the last 2 flams, you have the left flam, left's up, right's down. And then the last flam, you have the right up, the left is down. Cool? And 4. So make sure that you show me which hand it is, okay? That's going to be very important. So that last measure, 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Accent those, okay? Those accents are there. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and 4. Cool? All right. That's it for this little, tutorial on the intermediate excerpt here. A couple of resources for you, okay? If you still have questions about anything in this excerpt, you can email me one, okay? It's wilsonkr@jcs.k12.oh.us, blah, all of that. If you don't want to email me, you can leave a comment in the Google Classroom for the Drumline Google Classroom. And also for the, the office hours for Mr. Hurd. It's every day, Monday through Friday, from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m., okay? Those office hours, I'm going to be there as well, okay? So it's going to be Mr. Hurd, it's going to be myself, and whoever in the band program wants to come by for questions or just to talk, okay? We're there for those two things, questions, or if you just want to, goof off and talk to someone because you're going crazy in this quarantine, you can do that, okay? But I'm there if you have any questions for this excerpt, okay? So, that's it, and happy practicing.